Hello, everybody. This is Domenic Rinaldi from Sun Acquisitions. I'm being joined this morning by Jeremy Waitzman, a partner at Sugar, Felsenthal, Grais and Helsinger. And Jeremy's been a previous guest on the M&A Unplugged show, and he, along with his partner, Hagar Jouglaf, put a article out, I think it was late last week, about the executive order here in Chicago about shelter in place and what it means for businesses and what is an essential business. So before we get into the interview with Jeremy, and Jeremy, welcome. I really appreciate you being here this morning.
Thanks, Dom. Appreciate you having me.
We are going to continue to try to bring you content that we believe is relevant, that can be helpful to small and mid-sized businesses to help you manage through this crisis. We've got a number of video chats that we're going to be conducting over the course of this week and then the coming weeks. And this is just the beginning. We did one last week with Steve Lazowitz of Busey Bank. And so if you have thoughts and ideas of things that you'd like us to cover, please send them in. But Jeremy, let's get into your topic. On March 21st, Governor Pritzker put into place the ShelterInPlace law. And I immediately started fielding calls from clients as to what that means for them. How do they know if they're an essential business? So why don't we talk a little bit about the executive order, which is, I think, actually a law, correct? And what that means.
That's right. I mean, it's not a law in the traditional sense that you'll find it codified, but it is an official executive order. And it's, to be precise, it's Illinois Executive Order 2020-10. And that can be found www.illinois.gov/government/executive-orders. And that will give you a direct link to the executive order. And while, again, it's not a codified law, it's official law of the state of Illinois. It's a proclamation from the governor.
Got it. And so let's talk a little bit about, this hit to the point of essential businesses.
Sure.
We immediately started getting calls from our clients and our community about what is the definition of an essential business. And we've been making phone calls. I made a few to you and some other attorneys. Help our community understand how to interpret that.
Sure. So, the popular press reports it as, grocery stores, drugstores, and hospitals. The truth is, it's really much broader than that in terms of what is an essential business. If you think about, okay, what do you need to keep the economy going during these trying times? It's, goods for workers. It's goods for your house. It's the transportation around it. It's, logistics, it's suppliers. So it's really anybody that touches, kind of food, healthcare, and even just general functionality. So, the current environment is everybody working from home. So, a company like Best Buy, who may not immediately come to mind as an essential business, is deemed an essential business under the law because it's providing computers, printers, scanners, electronic equipment that you need to be able to do your job when you're working from home. So it's really a much broader, spread of businesses and the population.
And if somebody weren't certain about whether or not they specifically are an essential business, what's your advice to them?
So the first resource is to go to that executive order that I mentioned before, because it lists something like 13 different categories of business types. And then each one of those business types in the order itself even has a description. So again, we talked about the Best Buy kind of thing, but a client of ours is a manufacturer. They do rehab of different components, and those components are used for medical equipment, for other things. So off the top, well, we're refurb. We refurb electronic equipment, but because of what they touch, it's an essential business. It's deemed an essential business. The gray area here is they're all examples, right? So if you can claim that your business touches food, healthcare, again, the key components, you're going to be deemed an essential business. That being said, look, everybody needs to be a good corporate citizen and a citizen of the world. If what you're doing, if you look at in the mirror objectively and say, yeah, I know I could probably, fall into one of these categories, but, I can work remotely, or I can do it with a skeleton staff. That's really the route you should be going, right? I mean, notwithstanding what the law permits and what the law allows and what you're going to get in trouble for, that's how everybody should be approaching this.
Common sense, common sense usually prevails in most cases, right? So,
That's right.
yeah.
And, and
Any idea if someone doesn't use common sense and they're not essential and they stay open, and God forbid one of their employees contracts COVID or had COVID and passed it on to other employees, what the consequences might be for a business like that?
So the first thing I'll say, and this isn't directly answering your question, but goes to it a bit. Even if you are not an essential business, you are allowed to continue to operate your business at a minimum level in order to preserve, kind of your plant, your equipment, process payroll, make sure your employees, healthcare bills get paid, things along those lines. So it's going to be to prove, to a legal certainty or whatever the standard may be, that somebody shouldn't have been operating is going to be difficult. That being said, I have no doubt in my mind there's going to be some plaintiffs' attorneys out there that will use it as you were operating inappropriately. You weren't an essential business. You shouldn't have been in operation. This employee shouldn't have been there. At this point, we don't know how that's going to come out. I'm sure it's going to be tested because I'm sure there are people that aren't observing, the spirit of this executive order. So we'll see it. But again, there's nothing in the executive order that says if you violate this, if you have an employee work that's not an essential employee, or if you're operating in a non-essential business, you're going to go to jail. That's not there. There is a general enforcement provision in the executive order that allows law enforcement to enforce this provision. What I've read and seen about it, we're talking misdemeanor kind of counts. That if, let's say somebody was a non-essential business, they were running, your local Dave and Buster's. Nobody can say that's an essential business. In fact, it's, mandated to close. I can see the police coming in and saying, one, you need to close. And if they wanted to issue a citation, they certainly could.
Got it. Again, common sense, right? Use your common sense. If you're not essential, stay safe, keep your employees safe. I think you and your partner wrote a great article. I know it's available on LinkedIn. How else can people get access to that article that you wrote?
Sure. It's posted right to the firm's website. So if you go to www.sfgh.com and then look at our news section, there's a direct link right there as well.
Awesome. Jeremy, I really appreciate you being here today. Anything else that you would add to this topic before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, I would just note that there are resources becoming available to small businesses almost every day. The city of Chicago has a special loan program. It is called the Chicago Small Business Resiliency Loan Fund. The SBA has loan packages that are available to small businesses, offering up to $2 million at very low interest rates, 3.75% for a for-profit business, 2.75% for a nonprofit. So there are resources that the federal government and local governments are making available to their small businesses to help them through these trying times.
Awesome. Jeremy, great to see you. Glad you're safe and healthy.
Thank you, Dom. You as well.
To our community, a couple of last things. We have posted on our website and added a tab under our resources section on the sunacquisitions.com website, a section called COVID resources. You can go there. Things like this video, links to loan information, SBA relief packages, future videos that we're going to shoot, and any other content that we can get our hands on that will help you as a small and mid-sized business get through this, we're going to have available there. If you're listening to this video and you know of anybody in your network or you personally think that you have some information or resources that would be helpful to small and mid-sized businesses, please reach out to me directly at drinaldi@sunacquisitions.com. Happy to talk to you about shooting a quick video chat so we can get the information out there and help everybody that needs it at this point in time. We hope that everybody stays safe and healthy, and we'll be back to you hopefully in the next couple of days with more videos and more content. Thank you.